Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. After last week's emotionally charged Conrad Fisher POV episode, The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3, Episode 6, Last Name, shifts the emotional weight right back to Belly, and this time, her feelings for Conrad are undeniable. It's not just that old spark resurfacing. It's the way she's remembering the version of him she fell for in the first place. There's this bittersweet nostalgia creeping in, and you can feel the emotional pull starting to tilt in a way that could have massive consequences for the rest of the season. What makes this episode so pivotal is how it intertwines the season's biggest storylines. On one side, Belly is caught in the overwhelming chaos of the Adam-sponsored wedding, a situation that's clearly weighing her down. On the other, Conrad makes a quiet but significant move, convincing Laurel to finally reconcile with Belly and show up to her bridal shower. That reunion between mother and daughter hits hard because it's not just about a family mending. It's about Belly regaining a piece of stability she's been missing. At the same time, Jeremiah's arc takes a quieter but more tragic turn. His need to impress his father, and maybe even become him, is pulling him in a direction that's quietly eroding his connection to Belly. It's that classic dynamic of one brother stepping into the light while the other drifts further into the shadows. But here's the thing, even with those emotionally strong beats, there's a pacing problem you can't ignore. We're now past the halfway mark of this final season, and while it's exciting to know there are still 5 episodes left, there's a nagging question of whether the story is starting to stretch itself too thin. The episode is weighed down by subplots that feel disconnected from the emotional core. Stephen and Taylor's messy relationship, Taylor's financial struggles, and Stephen's side hustle with Denise. They're fine on their own, but they're not feeding into the main engine of the story. In the earlier seasons, their arcs felt naturally woven into the central drama. But here, it almost feels like we're pressing pause on the Fisher-Conklin love triangle just to check in on them. That's not to say Stephen and Taylor aren't important. They're the second most significant romance in the show after the main triangle. But it's getting harder to stay invested when every minute with them means one less minute of building the all-important tension between Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad. With the wedding just weeks away in the story, every interaction between these three should feel like it's pushing us closer to an inevitable emotional breaking point. Instead, the narrative keeps wandering into side territories that might be charming but aren't moving the needle. This episode leaves you wondering, when the big shift in the love triangle finally comes, will it feel fully earned, or will we wish those minutes had been spent where the real emotional stakes are? What do you think? Are the side plots adding needed depth, or are they slowing down the momentum of Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad's story? Let me know in the comments, because I think this might be one of the most divisive pacing debates of the season.